uh, that was when I was working in the oil and gas industry. And very quickly, I mean, my ambition was always to change the system from within. You could say I started out as a blue-eyed idealist, and by now I'm a realistic idealist. And I'm not quite sure where the boundary is, but it feels a bit more mature than I was. So I got into climate change mitigation in the oil and gas industry, which was very unique. They had a couple of people that were working on trying to figure out if we can actually pump CO2 into the ground instead of the atmosphere, and how you would do that. How would you capture, CO2 from all these sources that we have and like pump it underground? How does this work, right? So I was right there with the first of the people that started out with it. And I was being a data scientist, and I started costing the entire value chain from where the CO2 was being captured at a power plant or another stationary CO2 emitter, the pipes that have to be in the middle, and then there's a subsurface where you inject it into, preferably somewhere where it's not going to come up again anymore. So I worked there, and I was in the US. I loved that place. I was at the East Coast. Could very much imagine living there again. Made some really fabulous friends. And then it was time to come to the second time to the Netherlands. And that was then, I was working for Shell, also still on climate change mitigation in research. I was working also in project management. I started transitioning into project management. And over what you experience is that in an organization, there are some people that are really enthusiastic about it. They get, why this is important. And then there's the rest of the system that is simply allergic to change, right? And it's not... And the system is, of course, made of people. And it's because we people actually don't like change. We like things just the way they are, right? We don't, we like it nicely and predictable, the way we know it. So it was a tough job. And I was not only working for Shell, but afterwards also in Australia, where I was even an operations manager for a site where they did active injection of CO2 in the subsurface. And afterwards, I was working for Centrica, also really setting up a huge project that would have become a carbon sequestration hub for the west of Britain. And everywhere it was the same story. It was technology is already there. It's not something we have to wait for or a miracle solution, a silver bullet. No, there are many solutions already there. Why are people not doing it, right? We have the technology, we can do it. Why do people not do it? And they keep on saying, it's about the money. We don't know how to do it with the money. And yes, of course, that's true. But the point is, if you really want something, then you will create the conditions for it. And that means you will also create it's going to be valuable enough that there will be money. So that was then the time when I started really switching into neuroscience, into psychology, and what's going on in the mind, what makes people change their behavior or not, what keeps us stuck and what makes us change.